Hey friends, Ash here. Welcome back to Extra Gents. Hope you're having an awesome day. Today I want to talk to you guys about some fragrances that I'm looking forward to wearing this autumn. So not my official top 10 fall niche list or designer list or anything like that. Just some powerful fragrances that I want to bust out. Some scents that, wouldn't work quite as well in summertime, mainly because they're sweet, heavy, rich, strong, the type of fragrance that would choke somebody out. Like probably me. Sprayed on a little bit too much, get that headache going, having a good time. So yeah, 7 powerful fragrances that I'm looking forward to wearing this autumn. Have some crazy awesome scents here to talk about, so let's check them out. And guys, I'm gonna hit you with those codes. Some of these fragrances you can find at Lucky Scent, some you can find at discounters. So I'm gonna give you codes for those. Okay, cool. LuckyScent.com, Gents 10% off the entire website. Actually, I bought one of these there. Yeah, just one. JomoShop.com, Gents $8 off any order over $110. And then Twisted Lily, Gents 10% off the whole website. So when you shop at those websites, use those codes, save yourself some money, blah, blah, blah. All right, first fragrance is called Slow Dive. Now this is from Hiram Green. This is my first fragrance that I've owned from the house, but I have sampled a bunch of them, so I'm gonna try to pick more of these up as time goes on. This one I have noticed popping up at discounters. That's where I bought mine. I bought mine from FRAGNET, but I think I saw it at a couple other discounters as well here recently. Could be misremembering that, but I think so. So this one and another fragrance from the house called Hide were on my short list, stuff that I was looking for. So when I found this one, scooped it up real quick. It's an all natural fragrance, and look at the coloration on this bad boy. That is deep, amber, rich. Now this is not gonna be for everyone. This is the type of fragrance that some people are just gonna get overwhelmed by and just not be able to enjoy for one reason or another. It's called Beeswax, so it has this like dark honeyed feeling to it. It's not like a really like floaty honey, like a light honey. Nah, this is like thick. This is like honey that's been reduced. It's been taken and put into a more potent form. So like the type of honey where just a little smidge goes a long way. That's what you're dealing with here. Then there's also dried fruit in here. There's resins, there are white florals, and there's tobacco. So this is like pipe tobacco taken to the next level. This is that type of fragrance, which obviously you can tell by looking at it, that you don't really want to spray on white clothing or probably clothing at all, because if you spray it onto a tester strip, it's gonna stain that stuff. So it's gonna stain your clothes as well, I'd say. I'm not gonna risk it. It has a dustiness to it. Some people might take that as being kind of powdery, but it is a really, really top-notch, heavy, dark honey tobacco fragrance. I really love that one. My wife is a little iffy on it. She said there's parts of it she likes, parts of it she doesn't like at all. And so that's gonna be the thing with that one. I would definitely test it out first. Some people that is not gonna work for a bit. You're gonna smell it, get hit with that almost molasses-like honey and that heaviness, that dusty, almost powdery feel, and it's not gonna work for you. Other people, you're gonna smell that and just think, holy crap, they crushed it. Next, fragrance, Armani Code Absolu. I love this one for a long time. Ever since it came out, my favorite in the Code lineup. Vanilla, tonka, suede, woods, mandarin orange, nutmeg, some of the notes in the fragrance. Has that almost like Armani Code Ultimate DNA, and also has a similarity to Armani Code Profumo, but not quite as loud as that one. It straddles the line between being playful and a little youthful and being elegant and rich. Armani Code Absolu, fantastic. One of my favorite designer fragrances, my favorite from the Code line. So of course, I'm gonna pull that out again as it starts to cool down. And then a new fragrance, a newer fragrance that I've picked up anyway, Mystery Tobacco from Carolina Herrera. Really, really, really liking this one. Presentation is really nice. It's got this heft to it, this heaviness to it. The cap is magnetic. Everything here looks of good quality, feels of good quality. The atomizer is awesome on this as well. So nothing to complain about whatsoever. with the package. This is essentially Carolina Herrera's private line, their upper echelon of fragrances that really don't get talked about very much. As tobacco, tonka, patchouli, gaiac wood, and ginger as some of the notes in the fragrance here. Oh man, it smells great, even just from the atomizer. This is a bit similar to Carlisle from Parfums de Marly or Red Tobacco from Mancera. And I have not had this as long as either of those two fragrances, but right now between the three, if I were gonna choose one to wear, it'd be this one, and it's not close. Now that's not a diss on Carlisle or Red Tobacco. Those are both really solid fragrances, but this one has a great sweetness to it that just has me going back to it over and over and over again. When I smell the stuff, it's one of those addictive fragrances that you just want to smell over and over and over all day long. Performance is awesome, projects, lasts a long time. So even though it's expensive and I paid, I feel like it was close to $250 or something like that from FRAGBUY, it's still worth it. That is killer. After that, a fragrance from Chopard, it's Oud Malaki. Now, this line of fragrances has some absolute stunners, really high quality stuff. The presentation is not awesome on these. I mean, the bottle, some people really like. They like the gold cap, they like the look of it, think it's very classy. But where they lose out a bit is always their stickers, their labels. Now, it's really just nitpicking. It's not a big deal, but they do look really cheap. Just like this little crappy sticker that's slapped on the front. And sometimes they'll be a little, cockeyed, a little off center. But that's really the only thing I can bust on them for. So who really cares? Oh no, it has a cheap looking label. Ugh, end of the world. Tobacco, spices, oud, and leather. Some of the notes here, it really packs a wallop. This lasts a long time. And of course, with those being some of the main notes, spices, oud, tobacco, leather, like all of those are very powerful notes, very often, very masculine. You kind of know what you're in for here as far as the whole performance aspect of it is. It's a little sweet, but not too sweet. So the tobacco, the spices, those have a little bit of sweetness to them. The oud and leather are not really animalic here, so it doesn't have too much of a funky feel, gives it more wearability. Chopard as a whole has just a lot of hidden gems in it, frankly. So a lot of people are not buying those, they're not wearing those, but the quality is there, and they have surprisingly good wearability as well. So really solid, and I'll bust out more just other than Oud Malaki. That's not gonna be the only one I'm reaching for. Okay, another newer one, Fort and Manle Late Harvest. Now, I bought this one from Lucky Scent, but I saw that they have it at FRAGBUY now also. This comes in the new Fort and Manle bottle style, which I really like. It's reminiscent of like a cigar wrapper, like the little sticker that's put around a cigar. It's got a nice throwback look to it, throwback feel to it. The cap is nice and heavy as well. I really like the original Fort and Manle bottle style, but this one I think I like even more. Although I do miss those metallic plaques on the front. Those were cool. This has tobacco, vanilla, cherry, and rosewood. And the tobacco here, very different than the tobacco you'll find in mystery tobacco that we talked about earlier. To me, this is much more like tobacco leaf, like really that leaf of tobacco with a cherry feel to it. So it has sweetness, but it's a different type of sweetness. Like when you compare it to a lot of other fragrances, like we've got 3 tobacco fragrances here, actually, Slow Dive, Mystery Tobacco, and now this one. But a lot of them are more of that honeyed type of tobacco. And now Slow Dive is a different take on a honeyed tobacco, but this one to me is just a different take on tobacco in general, I guess. At least compared to the more common ways it's used. We're really going in circles here. Nice woodiness underneath everything else, but this is gonna be another one of those fragrances that does not work for everybody. If you don't like tobacco smelling like actual tobacco, stay away from this one. If you do like that, check it out. Of course, I would sample it first if possible because it is a little pricey. But that one I absolutely adore, and it was a blind buy win for me. Okay, another love of mine, Cape Heartache. Imaginary Authors, probably my favorite from the house, this one and Memoirs of a Trespasser, but this is the one that really got me into the house and made it where I bought all their fragrances. This is a very woody fragrance, which you can tell by reading the note breakdown on the back of the bottle here. Douglas fir, pine resin, western hemlock, vanilla leaf, strawberry, old growth, and mountain fog. So a lot of woods, coniferous woods, and you're gonna get that in here. It really smells like being in the middle of an old forest with a bit of a strawberry sweetness on top of everything. So changing things up a little bit. You know, you can't just have it be a straightforward forest fragrance. Gotta put a little strawberry in there. I love this stuff though. It's a fragrance that gives me comfort. You know, it's one of those scents that I just have good memories associated with it. So sometimes I'll just pull it down off the shelf and give it a smell just because I love how this comes across so much. But to me, it's completely wearable. There's nothing about this that's very difficult to pull off. I know some people will disagree with that and they'll say, no, the strawberry in there screws it up for me. Or, you know, I just don't like smelling like overly realistic woods, but I do. Last but not least, designer brand fragrance, car brand fragrance, Mercedes-Benz Club Black. This is one of the better vanilla-based designer fragrances on the market today. One of the best ones you can get, and the word has been out on that for quite a while, which is kind of a bummer because the price has gone up on that. Discounters keyed in on the fact that people like that people are buying that. And so they took the price and they raised it and they raised it and they raised it and they raised it. To be fair, it is sometimes difficult to find at discounters because it sells out pretty quickly generally. So of course they're gonna bump that price up so they can make even more. But I think now it's going for like $70, $80, something like that. Probably the most expensive Mercedes-Benz fragrance at discounters right now. As benzoin, incense, woods, bergamot, and of course vanilla. And the vanilla in here, especially for a fragrance from Mercedes-Benz, is surprisingly really good quality. Smells great. The performance is good. It smells fantastic. Wife loves it. I love it. Nothing to dislike about that fragrance for me. So there we go. 7 powerful fragrances, really nice performance on these, and I'm looking forward to wearing this fall and also this winter. A lot of tobacco in here. In case you're unaware, I really like tobacco-based fragrances. And each one of these tobacco scents or fragrances that has tobacco in them does it a different way. So really dig that. Let me know in the comments some of the fragrances that have a pop that you're looking forward to wearing this coming autumn, at least if you're in the Northern Hemisphere. Thank you guys for hanging with me. Thanks for your support. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you again another day with another fragrance video. See you guys later.